I don't even understand why I have a bank account, to be completely honest. I don't get any of it. Like, I think banks started because people had gold, and they had to lug around gold. And then they were like, can I store my gold at your place? And they were like, we'll give you a piece of paper to let you know you got gold at the bank. But then we got rid of gold, and we just had paper. And they started giving us checks. And they were like, if you keep your paper here, we'll give you other paper that represents the paper you have here. And we were like, cool, that sounds like that's worth a $12 service fee a month. Or, like, I don't even know why I have that. And now I don't even use checks anymore. I pay everything with like stupid websites like PayPal and Venmo. And I still have my paper at this bank. I don't even know why. I don't even have that much money. Why am I keeping this at a bank? I asked a banker once at Chase. That's where I am. I'm not trying to brag. But I'm at, I bank with Chase, little mom and pop shop down the street. And they're very aggressive, by the way. I don't know, have you been to a Chase recently? Like, they come right up to you at the door. Like, you come into the bank, and they're like, hi, sir, what brings you into the bank today? And you're like, back off, bro. Like, banking, I don't know. What did you think? I didn't come to check on you. Like, I'm making a deposit, and then I'll be on my way. And then they bring you to their desk, and they try to basically just sell you things. But, like, it's ridiculous. There's nothing to sell, mate. Like, you know, they'll be like, oh, we just want to take a quick second and make sure, you know, all your account information is correct and you're utilizing all of the best strategies for your money. And I'm like, really? My account, the one with negative $200 in it? Like, what strategy do you want to use? Here's my strategy. I was going to deposit $200 and bring that son of a bitch up to a nice solid zero. Like, does that seem like a good strategy to you? Like, so I asked this guy, at one point, I was like, why do we even have bank accounts? This is what I asked my banker. And you would think if you worked at a bank, you would have like a really quick answer prepared for that. Well, obviously, this is why you need a bank account. But I just asked him, I was like, why do we have a bank account? And he goes, what do you mean? And I was like, you're a banker. What do you mean, what do I mean? Like, why? Why do all of us have bank accounts? And he was like, well, you gotta have a bank account. And I was like, that's not a very good answer to my question. Like, why? Why do we have a bank account? And why does everyone, like, why don't I just have like a prepaid card with no bank involved, and I just pay my bills with the card and put money on the card? Like, why are you even here? And he was like, well, I mean, this is just how we do it. And I was like, I don't understand anymore, but I think you should be fired immediately. Like, you should have a better answer than that prepared. But I was like, why don't I just take my money out and keep it at home? And he finally came up with an answer, and it was not a good one. But he goes, you can't keep it at home because what if your house burns down? But Americans, we're all broke. Do you ever see those studies where it's like something like half of Americans can't scrounge $600 together in the event of an emergency, but we're all still putting our money in banks because we're afraid our house is going to burn down? Like, what are you like, oh my God, what would happen if my house burns down? What would I do with my $312? I better get this to an official building with fire-resistant walls quickly. I don't understand it. I'm sure there's a better reason than that. I don't get it. I don't know. From what, you know, I get all of my hard financial news from Donald Trump, because that's where I go, you know, there's a reliable source. And according to him, China is the ones who's like, they're currency manipulating a bunch. Those are the banks you really got to worry about, the Chinese. Americans, we're all on the up and up over here. Like, the Federal Reserve, open books, they do what they tell you. I think it's amazing, of all of Trump's thing, like, of all the populist Bannon thing, the fact that they've gotten people angry at China, I think is the greatest accomplishment they ever pulled off. That they're like, China's ripping us off, and, you know, he just like met with the leader, and he's like, well, we'll think about, you know, making a deal with them, but they've been doing a lot of shady stuff. Like, China, we have the best deal ever with China. Our deal with China is that China makes all of our stuff, and then we consume it. But first, they lend us the money so we can buy the stuff from them. That's our deal with China. We're just like, look, we used to make stuff, we don't make it anymore, but if you make the stuff for us, we will consume it. But, we didn't mention this, we're broke. So we're gonna need some money. But if you lend us some money, we'll use that money to buy the stuff that you slaved away making, and then we will enjoy it. you're welcome. And then that's the deal that we have in place. And then like a few years later, we were like, we've been thinking about this deal, and you're ripping us off. Like this is a bunch of bullshit. Shady Chinese people with making our stuff and lending us the money to buy it for. Like, China is like America's. Like, you know, there was like a kid in high school who was rich but didn't have any friends, so he would just like buy stuff for the other kids so they would hang out with him. Like, he'd be like, I got Knicks tickets if anyone wants to go. And you're like, fine, I'll go to the Knicks game with this guy. Like, that's China. Like, just make our Walmart some stuff and give us some money and we'll think about, like, Trump will hang out with you for a few minutes. And they're like, okay, that sounds pretty good.